Welcome to BAC Welder Welding. Today we're going to talk about the Alpha Q351 welding machine dedicated to the pipe welding industry. We're going to demonstrate and talk about the functions of the machine, especially the waveforms that's been exclusively designed by EWM for this industry. It's a 350 amp machine at 100% duty cycle. We're going to set a few parameters here and show you the functions and the ease of how to put a pipe root run in and to a fill cap. This machine opens up here. We've got a double wire feeder. This side we're going to do the pipe root run with solid MIG wire. We're going to use a gas, which is an argon CO2 blend for both sides, both for the flush cord and for the solid wire. It's simple to set a program in here. What we look at on the features on here, we have all the waveforms. We have a pipeSolutions, which is the program we're going to dial into the machine. It's simply by selecting pipeSolutions, which is here, the type of gas, the type of wire and the size of wire. So we come across and we dial in 174. 174 is the program we want to use for this welding application. While we've got the door open, we show you we have our wire comes through. All the machines come out as a standard 4-drive feeder unit. Up in through your gun. We can close this off once we've got our program. We do our job list is on the front of the machine. 174 is the job which is dedicated for the root run. EWM manipulates the waveform in the short circuit mode to give you the desired arc transfer and constant backbeat. Once we've dialed in the program, then you can select either amperage with voltage, or plate thickness, or wire feed, whatever procedure you want to run. Today we're going to go on amperage. We can dial in 150 amps. Your voltage will adjust synergically. You'll have a small trim button on this side. Should you want more heat or more voltage or less voltage into your procedure, that'll return back to your voltage as soon as your welding time is up. We have a couple of functions here, a couple of trigger functions. We have a standard trigger. We have a trigger latch. You pull the trigger, you let it go, your wire will keep feeding. We have a couple of special buttons for spot timing, and also a hot start and a downslope can be introduced into your weld procedure. The hot start, you pull the trigger, it'll ramp up to a percentage that you have dialed in on your procedure. It'll come down to your welding procedure, you let the trigger go, it'll downslope a percentage of your overall current at a given time. This machine also will allow you to put a pulse program in simply by pushing this button. Pulse on, pulse off. It also has a double pulsing program as well, where you can pulse the wire in this format up here. But once we've dialed in our job, 174, we're going to start talking about the pipeSolutions program, which we're going to do on a piece of pipe very shortly. So I'm going to dial in roughly what I think will be okay. Another thing we have, the unit is water cooled. Should you want to be doing some high procedures on some force arc, there is a program in here called force arc, which could be running above 30 volts, and water cooled guns are a must if you're hanging on to something above 30 volts. With this gun that comes standard, has some controls. We have up and down controls for your amperage, or flick between procedures. Now, should I have a procedure that I like in the root run, what I can do here, I can actually change on the gun. 15 procedures I can change. So what I can do is, while I'm doing the root run, should I get into a position or a bit of misalignment or a root gap that's a little bit larger, I can flick between procedures or change on the fly. Coming down in the difficult overhead position, that can be quite easily changed on the fly with this gun. Once the root run is completed, you can place this gun down, come to the other side wire feeder. As soon as you pick this torch up, pull the trigger, the procedure will shift across. But we have to check to make sure we got the right job list. And on this one, as you've seen on the door, the job list was 243. So we're after 243, and that'll give the correct waveform for flux cord. Then you do your fill cap. Simple as that. It's an easy solution for pipe welding. Now that we've got our job list set and our welding parameters set, we're ready to weld. I've got a 300mm nominal bore with a 60° included angle, around about a 3mm root gap and a 1.6mm landing. Before we strike the arc, we have to have our safety gear on. Fully covered, as we've got arc rays, we've got our gloves, a welding shield, our steel cap boots, long pants and a jacket before we start welding. We're going to put the root run in with the first wire, which is a solid wire root run, and then we're going to do flux cord fill cap. If you're out in the marketplace as a welder, and you guys that do some welding out there, especially in dragline boom cord welding, excess penetration can fail your job. This monitors your background and will give you an excellent backbeat all the way through, minimum penetration. This is what these waveforms are dedicated to. Remember to feather your tacks and stop starts to eliminate any possible root run defects. Once you've done your root run, you can then move on to the next gun, which is your flux cord fill cap. Pull that trigger, the machine will switch across, you're ready to do your flux cord fill cap. Excellent penetration with a controlled backbeat and no suck back.